So I was wondering, I'm sitting here trying to find different videos from different creators, from people that took their own personal stories online, trying to sift through that information for a through line for a message. Because I want my channel to be more of a nuanced channel where we can suss out what makes sense, right? Not just regurgitating the same trite things that we've been saying for the last 10, 12 years. I don't think that it's been helpful in narrowing the gap, narrowing the bridge, or ending the war, the gender war. So I've become really aware, hyper focused on just almost what seems like a constant message. And of course, the algorithm showing things from my point of view, from a man's point of view. But if I were just to believe what I was consuming, right? If I ignored the real world and my own lived experiences, would I believe that as a whole, women actually did like men, right? So what I get a lot of is different examples of where women have some issue with men. Maybe it could be something simple, it could be something small, but it's always with the same sort of divide. A man has to provide, he has to do this, or if he can't do this, then he's not a real man. Masculinity redefined through the lens of how it works for someone else other than said men. I see plenty of videos of where men's own issues, their own thoughts, are quickly rebutted against, where they're quickly told, no, that's not what men do, that's not what men think. From people who admittedly come from broken homes that didn't know their father, or don't have a brother, or didn't have a positive male influence in their life, yet they're comfortable enough on this digital stage to tell you where you're wrong as a man, moments after asking for your own opinion. So what I'm getting at is that we're all living in a very, very tight, small echo chamber where the algorithm believes it knows who you are by the way you consume in terms of food, media, entertainment, music, who you associate with, where your phone comes in contact with another's phone's Bluetooth. Well, this person is interested in this and this person is interested in that, and you frequently get together. So that's why a lot of times you'll get the advertisements once you've been talking about a thing, or you're around other people that you've been talking about. In that tight echo chamber, the algorithm in its job thinks it knows you, and then it wants to show you content that it believes you are interested in. How long do your eyes linger? You may not like something on Instagram. I think all of us are adult enough to realize this. You may not like a thing on Instagram, but your eyes stayed there for a while. The algorithm picks that up, right? And it sends that to you. So when we constantly are inundated with information or stories of where people are saying how much they dislike men, or men are saying how much they dislike women, or expressing their confusion of a thing, that is a very dangerous thing, very dangerous and defeating proposition, where you no longer feel like it's possible to find someone that you would want to be with, that you could be with. Instead, what you're left with is despondency, and then you put more despondency back out. Where now we're just left back in that echo chamber where our voice echoes and reverberates. So we're all saying the same things in a very self-defeatist way. Secondly, I think the other issue is positive voices are not proliferated. If you are doing well, right? You're happy in a relationship, you're probably not online. You're probably not, making a TikTok, making an Instagram reel, or on YouTube promoting how positive your life is. You don't have time. You don't have the desire. There's something innate with our humanity where we look at a bad thing and we want to shout it. We want to share, we want to commiserate in this badness. When someone that we love or look up to, some celebrity, they fall from grace, we're obsessed with it. We're absolutely obsessed. YouTube is riddled with stories like that. Well, when this creator did this and lost all this, we like that. And it may be a reflection of how unhappy we are with our lives. But we probably need to do a better job of balancing out the scales, right? Maybe in our own private lives, we hang on to joy a little bit more. But if we're not also sharing that with each other as readily as we share the bad news, then we're only contributing to the same echo chamber. We're only contributing to the larger problem. And even if that contribution is a small drop in a bucket into this vast ocean of negativity, do you want to be part of that? I don't. So when I am sifting through these videos and trying to come up with a nuanced topic or an ability to see things from both sides, or sometimes just having a good laugh, I want to see the good as well, right? I want to see the stories where people are just like, yeah, no, I'm happy. And even when I have conversations offline, we laugh, we joke. Yeah, we have hardship and trials in our lives. That doesn't make us worse for it. But when's the last time you talked to someone and you shared something that was good, right? Was genuine. And I'm not talking in a spiritual hippie sort of sense. I'll leave that to my betters. But maybe it's time we start acknowledging that the internet is a little downtrodden. So when we open it up and we're flooded with it, we consume the thing. And then we internalize it and we put it back up there. We start expecting the worst. We start adopting the buzzwords, even though your own life may not be representative of that in the slightest. You say things that have nothing to do with your life, or when questioned an iota or just a bit, you freeze. You realize that you adopted it from somewhere else. You can't remember where, but it seemed important to you and you have this feeling behind it, so it's your truth. But if you never stopped and looked at it and examined it, you would see that has nothing to do with my own life. Broad example, right? You want a man that makes over 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever. But no one in your life has done that. No one that you've dated has done that. In fact, you live a meager life at the average salary of $45,000 a year, and your life is fine. Your life is good, right? Yes, it could be better. It could always be better. But you never felt like you needed more because you're living frugally or you're living at that level. So suddenly you want this because someone you followed, someone that you looked up to said it, and then someone else repeated it. And then someone else repeated it, and it's in the vernacular. It's just the same way we adopt new words. You don't know the meaning of it. You know the feeling of it. You heard it, and now it's important to you. It's almost like advertising, right? You've been advertised to, and you fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Happens to all of us, right? My Instagram it looks like soft core, because that's what people around me are interested in. And I'm kind of interested too. But here we are constantly inundated with this thing, and we don't take a second to breathe and stop and say, is this important?